So UFC 315 Muhammad versus Della Maddalena is this weekend. And boy, oh boy, this is going to be a card, all right. I'm very, very excited for this. So, yeah, without further ado, let's just break down the first couple fights. So we have Daniel Santos versus Young Yu Lee. This is interesting. Lee's come with that loss to Hyder Emil where he got destroyed, got broke a little bit. And I see this as a very, very similar fight, to be honest with you, to the Daniel Santos fight. I think Daniel Santos, very, very similar to Hyder Emil in very certain ways. Very aggressive, moves forward a lot, sort of breaks people. Powerful guy, fights at shootbox, very Charles Oliveira-esque. He's moving up here because there's short notice, so that is something to worry about. But he was booked against Davy Grant. I think Daniel Santos can win this fight. I think he's going to have a very similar game plan to Hyder Emil. I think he's going to be able to break Lee down. Now, Lee tries to fight a bit like Conor McGregor. He's powerful. He's sort of got a karate base, if I remember correctly. He called himself the Korean McGregor, but I think Santos is going to get this. Now, there could be a big power difference here because Lee is a featherweight. And, Santos is moving up for this fight. But I don't think he's like a small guy. He's had some problems cutting weight, so he's obviously a big guy for the bantamweight weight class. So I'm going to go Daniel Santos to get this one. So I'm going Willie Cat. Then we have Modestas Bukauskas versus Ion Cutelaba. Now, both of these guys are on very good streaks at the moment, which is crazy to say that at this point in their career. But yeah, they are. They're both on wins. Bukauskas, he destroyed Rafael Sakaria. I definitely butchered that last name. I apologize. But he destroyed him. But that guy looked horrible. That guy doesn't look like he knows how to fight. Like, since he got in the UFC, he looks scared to engage in a fight. Ion Cutelaba on the other end beat Ivan Erslan by split, but I'm pretty sure that was a clear decision. I actually can't remember that fight. And then he beat Abo Aslan. Now, I think he's going to knock out Modestas Bukauskas. I'm going to go Ion. I'm believing in him. I see the resurgence. It's coming. He's going on his Glover Teixeira run. He's now on a 2-fight winning streak. He's coming back. He's making his return. I'm going to go Ion Cutelaba here, though. Genuinely, I do think he'll win this fight. Then we have Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Erslan. Interesting fight because Navajo Sterling didn't look amazing his last fight. Ivan Erslan, I don't think is like that great either. He's a bit chinny. I think. Well, he's only been knocked out once, but I don't know. I don't rate him too highly. He's a bit of a brawler. That's what I want to say. He's like a brawler, a powerful guy, and I think a guy like that. I think this is actually a very good style matchup for Navajo Sterling. Now, like I said, he didn't look amazing his last fight against Tuco Tokos. But Tuco Tokos is a grappler, and he did dominate the fight. Like, people are going, oh, that was a bad performance. People are saying it's a bad performance because he didn't go out there and immediately knock him out. So, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, he won the fight, He didn't go out there and finish him. So people are going to shit on him because Tuco Tokos isn't like an amazing fighter. But he's a grappler that is like, we haven't seen Sterling as too many grapplers. He fought a guy who was in the PFL at one point, who I think was a grappler, and he destroyed him. But I think Sterling will be able to get this one done over not Tuco Tokos, Jesus. He's already beat him. I think Sterling will be able to beat Erslan. I'm not ready to jump off the Sterling being good bandwagon. He won 30-27 for God's sake. And Tokos didn't do anything in that fight. Like, I think it was a pretty goddamn clear win for Sterling. And I know, you should probably finish someone like Tuco Tokos, but Tokos was just in that fight to survive, not to win. So you can't really fault Sterling too much. So I'm going to go Navajo Sterling. I think he'll be able to beat Ivan here. But yeah, moving on up, we have Jessica Andrade versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. I'm just gonna go with grapplers at this point when it comes to MMA. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, she did lose. She did beat Mackenzie Dern, but besides that, she's in the Tatiana Suarez. She's getting beat by Jan. Oh, well, that's not grappling, but you know what I mean. Aaron Blanchfield beat her. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you have some level of grappling and you're competent with the grappling, like a Jasmine Vicious is, who's on a very good streak at the moment. And she beat Mayra Bruno Silva, which was a very good win when you think about it. She beat Fatima Klein. Fatima Klein's. I'm going with Jasmine Vicious here. I think she'll be able to win. Now she's only had really one bad performance in the UFC, and I'd say that was against Tracy Cortez. I don't know why she looked so bad in that fight, and it's not just because Tracy Cortez looks good physically, but it's just like as a fighter, she didn't look good in that fight. She looked slow. I don't know. It was a very weird performance, but she's gone. Maybe was that a different weight class? I think that was a different weight class, right? Flyweight, and I think she moved up, right? These are all at bantamweight now. No, I don't know. I'm gonna go Jasmine Vidovicius though. I think Jessica Andrade is getting a bit older. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Jasmine Vicious, probably by decision. I think she'll just sort of like take her down. Andrade is powerful, but Vicious probably got a good chin. Then we got Mike Malott versus Charles Radke. Radke is an interesting fighter. I mean, he lost to Carlos Prates, but I remember he didn't look too bad in that fight. He has got a grappling. He's got some good grappling. The weird thing is he's looked very good in all of his fights except for the one against Mike Mafefa, Blood Diamond. He didn't look that great. He clearly won it, but it was a pretty poor performance. But I actually think Radke will be able to beat Mike Malott here. Mike Malott just looked awful his last fight. The guy got finished by Neil Magny by strikes as well, which is like worrying, Nobody really gets finished by him, and he looked so unbelievably bad against Trevin Giles that I can't trust him to win, to be honest with you. He fought like an Adesanya clone, and not in a good way. He fought like Adesanya would fight against like Jared Cannonier or something like that. He looked very unwilling to fight, to be honest. He won the contest, but like as a fight, it was awful. I think Mike Malott's good in certain ways, but in this fight, I think I'm going to go with Charles Radke to get the upset. Then we have Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. I'm going to go with Marc-Andre Barriault because he can grapple. If you can grapple and you fight Bruno Silva, he looks awful. He looks absolutely awful now. I do worry about Marc-Andre Barriault's chin, but look at Bruno Silva. The guy got chinned by Chris Weidman. It was a technical decision, and there was a lot of eye pokes, to be fair. But he got destroyed by Ismail Nordiev, got destroyed by Weidman, got destroyed by Shara Magomedov, got dropped and subbed by Brennan Allen, got destroyed on the feet by Gerald Mearshart. Had an amazing chin against Alex Pereira, but obviously Pereira took what was left of his chin. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Marc-Andre Barriault here. I think he's gonna get this one done. He can grapple. He can threaten with wrestling, and if you can threaten with wrestling, you have openings on the feet, and he's got really good cardio. I think Bruno Silva's gas tanks are, not as good. I think he's just sort of given up on everything. So I'm going to go Marc-Andre Barriault. Then we have Brad Katona. We got Brad Katona versus Bekzat Almakhan. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Bekzat here. He looked very good again. I mean, he looked alright. He didn't look amazing. He didn't look like amazing against Umar Nurmagomedov by any means, but he dropped him, and that was impressive. He dropped him, and I don't know. I just think he's got power. I don't rate Brad Katona too heavily. I mean, Brad Katona looks better in his losses than his wins, though. Like, against Gene Masamuto, he arguably won that fight. But against, Cody Gibson... No, not Cody. Against Jesse Butler, he looked awful. It was an awful performance. So he's, a very weird fighter as Brad Katona. But I'm just going to go Bekzat to get this one done here. Then moving on up, we have Jose Aldo versus Ayman Zahabi. This is such a weird fight, to be honest with you guys. Because I think Jose Aldo is going to clearly win this fucking fight on damage, but I know Zahabi's a very smart fighter and he will just clinch Jose Aldo against the fence. And for some reason, judges don't record damage for Jose Aldo when he fights people and they clinch him. They just automatically... He'll defend every single takedown, but they will just reward the guy who's holding him against the fence, even if he does more damage. I'm still pissed about the Mario Batista fight. He clearly got robbed. I think Jose Aldo's going to win. I think he's going to knock out Eamon Zahabi. But there is just an opportunity that Zahabi's just going to hold him against the fence for 3 fucking rounds. I really can just see it happening. I can just picture it in my head. I know it's going to happen at points in this fight. I hope at 38 years of age, Jose Aldo has realized, all these people are trying to hold me against the fence. I'm going to fight to not get held against the fence the whole time. So I'm going to go with Jose Aldo by KO. Then we have Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. I'm going to go Natalia Silva here. I think she's the next wave. I think she's the next big thing. Alexa Grasso looked horrible in her last fight. I mean, it is, to be fair to it, is against fucking Shevchenko. But, I don't know. I didn't like the performance. I'm going to go with Natalia Silva by decision. I think she's very good. Very good striker, very good grappler, very well-rounded. I can't believe 5 women have actually beat her. She's on a 12-fight winning streak. And she's not just a pretty face. She's actually very good. She's like the weird mix of like a very attractive MMA fighter and actually very good. Like you rarely see this in women's MMA. So it is like she is an anomaly in certain ways. But I think Natalia Silva will win this fight. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, she lost to Marina Rodriguez, but that was like 2 weight classes like difference, right? Doesn't say. I don't know. What is she? She's a flyweight, right? Well, anyway, yeah, I think Natalia Silva's going to put on a bit of a striking masterclass and also grapple up a bit and beat Alexa Grasso. Then we have Valentina Shevchenko, but both of these women are very, very cute. So it's going to be very sad to watch these two beat the shit out of each other. But anyway, moving on up, we have Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. I'm actually going to take Fiorot here. I don't think Shevchenko is like... I think Shevchenko's done, to be honest with you. Fiorot destroyed Aaron Blanchfield, stuffed every takedown. Like, Blanchfield had no success. She destroyed Rose Namajunas. I really do think... I really do think she's going to win this fight. I think Marin Fiorot, she's 2 years younger. But like Shevchenko's taken a lot of damage. She's been subbed. She's lost. She regained her belt, but like the fights against Grasso were very close. I really do think Manon Fiorot is going to win this fight. She has good takedown defense. She's a good striker. I think she'll just win this fight. I really do. I'm just going to go with Manon Fiorot. Now, moving on up. Boy, oh boy. Well. Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. I've watched Jack Della Maddalena a very, very long time. Been watching him since he was an Eternal. He's from my city, my hometown of Perth, Western Australia. He's from my state. He's from my city. Big fan of Jack Della Maddalena. I've watched this guy. I've watched all the fights. I watched the Basil Hafez fight. I watched the Kevin Holland fight. I've watched the Gilbert Burn fight. I've watched all of his UFC fights. And this is going to be a very, very hot take. But I like the Basil Hafez performance in regards to this fight. People are say, well, bro, you're crazy. He lost that fight. No, he didn't. Clearly won the fight on damage. I really like the fight. I rewatched it the other day. It's literally him versus Bilal. If Bilal had power and had good jiu-jitsu. Like, Basil Hafez is a submission grappler. He has very good jiu-jitsu. And if he was on roids, I mean, maybe Bilal's on roids, who knows? But, like, Basil Hafez was clearly, like, he came in... When fighters first come into the UFC, like, short notice, they're under different testing protocols. Basil Hafez, you cannot tell me that guy was built the exact same in his next 2 fights in the UFC. So obviously that was Basil fucking with half the chemist supplies with him. Like, the guy was clearly, bit roided up, whatever you want to say. Maybe he wasn't, who knows. But anyway, he looked very different physically. That's all I'm going to say. And Jack stuffed like 20 of his takedowns. Now, he kept going for guillotines. I didn't like that. That was very, very silly of him to do. And obviously, Basil Hafez's gas tank is not like Bilal, but his chin. At the time, he was a much more durable Bilal Muhammad. I know Bilal, he gets rocked and hurt a lot, but he has been put out before. Like he does have a decent chin, or at least he's got good heart. I'll give Bilal that. He's got good heart, but on the feet, he doesn't really have a threat like a Gilbert Burns. Now let's talk about the Gilbert Burns fight before I fully break down the Basil Hafez performance. I like that performance too for a fight against Bilal because Jack is going to be a bit more cautious getting up on his feet when he's got Gilbert Burns ready to jump on and pounce on his back because Bilal is a very good submission grappler. I think, I think that it's a completely different stylistic matchup with a submission grappler. And with the Gilbert Burns fight, he's also got a threat on the feet. He has to be a bit more careful when he's fighting a guy like Gilbert Burns because Gilbert Burns can actually crack on the feet. Now, I'm not saying he's a better striker than Bilal. I think Bilal's boxing is heavily, heavily underrated. He's got a very good pace on him. But I think that it's people are very black and white when it comes to these fights. Oh, Jack got taken down by Burns, and Hafez had top position for a couple minutes, like a minute. That means that Bilal will just hold him out. Now, Bilal, can he take him down? Yes, but will he hold him down? I don't think so. This is the thing people don't realize. Jack Della Maddalena, his initial takedown defense might not be the greatest, but he's got very good get-ups. Very good get-ups. Like, he will sprawl back to his feet. He'll use his judo, to get back to his feet. Even if someone's pressuring him against the cage, he'll hip toss them, get them off him. He did that to Hafez. He did that to Burns. And then he, go for knees or something like that when they go to get back up. Like, that's very good. And I think we're going to talk about Bilal. Bilal's worst nightmare matchups are boxers. Let's talk about the fights where he's lost. Lost to Luque. I'd class as a boxer, especially with the hands. Knocked him out. Then the next fight that he lost was to Jeff Neal, who's a boxer. Now, Jeff Neal's got amazing takedown defense. I don't know. I feel like if you get Neal down, he probably can't get back up. But when you try and get him down, he's got very good takedown defense. I don't think his get-ups are probably great like Jack's, but takedown defense, I'd say his initial takedown defense is better than Jack's. And then Alan Joban, who's like a bit of a kickboxer, but probably, still more of a striker. Like, these are the nightmare matchups, but then these aren't the only fights. You got to talk about his losses, but you also got to talk about the Lyman Good fight. Has anybody watched the Lyman Good fight? Lyman Good is not as good as JDM. He's older as well. He was older. He did stuff that Jack does in his fights. And this is a guy who got immediately subbed by Damian Maia, who, as soon as he got taken down, he got subbed, he got finished, and got destroyed by Ben Askren. Jack Della Maddalena has good get-ups. People say his grappling sucks, but he has good get-ups. But Lyman Good boxed up Bilal in moments, pieced him up, went to the body, caught him, went body head, hurt him. I think that this is a good fight for Jack. And now, Bilal, what does Bilal do? On the feet, he can get pressed. He can get pressured. I think Jack will be able to, once he feels that jab, I know he calls himself Canelo hands and stuff like that. I think Jack will be able to pressure Bilal a bit. I know Bilal is going to be shooting, but I think he'll get a takedown probably, but Jack will probably bounce right back to his feet, get back up. I think the body's going to be very big here for JDM. I think he's going to really have to go to the body. I think his kicks are going to be important here too, because Bilal gets hurt a lot with kicks against Jeff Neal. He got dropped with a kick. Against Joban, he got dropped with kicks. Jack's got an underrated head kick, in my opinion. I think he can actually use that in this fight. Like, I think he will be able to catch Bilal with a head kick, drop him. I think he'll be able to hurt Bilal a lot in this fight. I think that's going to be it. Like, I don't think Jack just has to go out there and knock him out in the first round to win this fight. I think he could generally put on some damage and masterclass Bilal a little bit here now. Maybe that's crazy. Maybe Bilal does just dominate him and then he catches him and chins him. But at the same time, if Jack isn't winning the whole fight, that's 25 minutes. I like that it's 5 rounds. That's 25 minutes you give Jack to knock out Bilal Muhammad, and you don't think he's going to find an opportunity where he's got Bilal hurt, he's got him crumpled up against the fence. I disagree. I think we're 100% going to see something like that in this fight. And I think we're going to see Jack Della Maddalena knock out Bilal Muhammad at some point in this fight. It could be early. I could honestly see it where they're like trading a little bit. Bilal gets a bit cocky in the pocket, and then Jack goes body head and just catches him right on the chin and just puts him out like the Vicente Luque type fight. Or in Jack's case, like the Alden Bates fight. I don't know why. I could just see that. I feel like Jack's not going to see him as a threat on the feet. Will his striking, will he be able to impose, like land a bit more because of the takedown threat? Yes, of course. But I don't think he has the power or anything like that to really offset Jack. I think Jack's going to be very aggressive in the pocket. And Bilal will go in the pocket at some point, and he is going to get put out cold, I think. So I'm going to go Jack Della Maddalena by KO in this fight over Bilal Muhammad. I know, crazy. But Jack, please, if you're watching this, I know you're not, but please just don't jump the gilly, don't jump up any submissions. I know you've been training with Craig Jones, but don't do that as like defense against like a takedown. If he's about to get you, don't do that. Just get back to your feet, because he will just lay on top of you. He will just lay on top of you, and he will just stay there. He won't try and improve position. But who knows, if you have him hurt or something like that, maybe go for it. If you're on top of him, beating the crap out of him, go for the submission. But don't just do it as like a defense to a takedown, because that typically doesn't work. But yeah, I'm going to go Jack Della Maddalena. I think he's going to beat Bilal Muhammad in this fight. Crazy, I know. People are going to be biased because I'm Australian. I'm from Perth. I'm a JDM fan, of course. But I really do I watched the tape. I think JDM's going to win this fight. I don't care about the odds. I'm going Jack Della Maddalena by KO. But anyway, let me know who you guys are picking in this fight. Let me know how I'm a biased Aussie and Bilal's going to like KO him or whatever people are going to say. But yeah, I'm going Jack Della Maddalena to win this fight. But yeah, let me know who you guys got, and I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.